So I'm sure most of you tuning in probably remember this guy. The guy who got triggered by Han Solo in The Empire Strikes Back for touching Leia's hands without asking for her consent.
Why is he holding her finger? Why is he rubbing her finger?
What a pussy.
Well, he's back, and he is back to rank all the Star Wars movies.
Today we're going to be ranking all of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Hang on, this is gonna be bad.
So the last time I did one of these videos, I called it the worst Star Wars movie ranking of all time. Well, I stand corrected because this one is somehow even worse. And it surprisingly doesn't start off all that bad.
Coming in at number 11, the lowest on the list, Solo, A Star Wars Story.
Well, maybe it's not all that surprising because this soy boy did say that Han Solo never redeemed himself in his eyes until The Force Awakens.
This is gonna sound crazy, but I think I finally like Han Solo.
So you finally like Han Solo, why? Because he was nice to Rey, your favorite character?
I think Rey is a better lead character than Luke.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
And as usual with these Disney Star Wars shills and their Star Wars movie rankings, they gotta put The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones in the bottom 3.
Coming in at number 10 is Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Coming in at number 9 is Attack of the Clones.
Are you crazy? Or just plain stupid?
Now this next one is where you might start to get pissed.
After that, we have probably my most controversial placement in this entire ranking. Star Wars A New Hope, the very first Star Wars movie. I'm not saying this is a bad movie by ranking it at number 8. I'm really not. It's a great movie.
Bullshit.
If you truly love A New Hope, there is zero reason you would rank it below, far below, as you're about to see, the movie that completely rips it off.
Coming in at number 7, Revenge of the Sith.
And that concludes the prequel trilogy, placing all 3 of them on the bottom half of the list, below the entire sequel trilogy and Rogue One.
The fuck?
Yeah, me.
Coming in at number 6 is a movie that I actually rewatched 2 nights ago, and that is Rogue One.
You know what this means, right? This means that all 3 sequel trilogy movies are in the top 5.
Are you retarded?
But real quick, before we get into that, please make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are less than 100 subscribers from 20,000.
Another one of the controversial placements in my list, coming in at number 5, is Star Wars The Last Jedi. I understand that this movie is actually hated by a lot of Star Wars fans.
That's all I have to say about that.
Completely ignores all of the major issues with this movie and instead uses the opportunity to talk about Rey, his favorite character.
But the reason I enjoyed it so much was because of the relationship that was building between Luke and Rey.
What are you talking about?
The scene where Rey was being trained by Luke to feel the Force, to feel the light and the darkness, might be my favorite scene in all of Star Wars.
I'm going to be real with you here. I honestly think it's one of the most least talked about scenes in all of Star Wars.
Because nobody gives a shit.
Coming in at number 4, my 4th favorite Star Wars movie, The Empire Strikes Back.
Jesus fucking Christ.
This is the most popular Star Wars movie of all time, so you have to respect it.
Bro, I got news for you. Putting The Empire Strikes Back below The Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker is not respecting The Empire Strikes Back. And the disrespect continues.
Coming in at number 3 is Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
Which means that these 2 Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy movies are number 1 and number 2.
You gotta be shitting me.
I know I'm putting myself into a natural disaster, but coming into number 2 is The Rise of Skywalker, the final film in the 9-film trilogy of trilogies.
Just take a second to absorb that. Rise of Skywalker at number 2. In what universe does that happen? And do I dare ask why?
It was just really, really great filmmaking. I understand that it wasn't maybe written the best.
It might not have been written the best, but Rey got her yellow lightsaber.
But that final scene where Rey picks up her own lightsaber, a yellow lightsaber, which now I need to buy, and claims that she's a Skywalker when she sees the Force ghost of Luke and Leia in front of her, was amazing. It made me really happy. It made me feel like this entire thing was worth it.
Rey stealing the Skywalker name like she stole everything else in this trilogy made you happy? Fuck off.
And finally, my favorite Star Wars movie, my number one Star Wars movie, is Star Wars The Force Awakens.
This is a guy whose only reason for being a Star Wars fan is because Disney bought it, and he's a hardcore Disney shill. Don't believe me?
After watching this film, I was like, oh my god, I need to go buy Star Wars merch.
Yes, you need to give Disney more of your money. So why is this movie your favorite? I think by now you all know the answer.
Meeting Rey was amazing. I fell in love with Rey's character when Rey finally finds Luke and reaches out to him to give him his lightsaber was something that I'll never forget.
That's funny because to most normal people, all we remember is this.
And there you have it, guys. That is my ranking of all of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Honestly, one of the worst I've ever heard in my life.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.